Hi, I've been asked to resume my .com talks. I've been away for a while, but I decided that to comply with the request. And today, what I'm going to do is read some poems, two of which are related to a book I wrote called Seven Gravid Angels about about my patients, some of my patients' experiences in an abortion clinic. So the first one I'm going to read is called Seven Gravid Angels. It's not the book, it's a poem I wrote. Seven Gravid Angels talks about seven women in the waiting room of an abortion clinic and their various stories. These are fictitious, but they come from real life experiences of real women that I've treated in my abortion clinic. So, Seven Gravid Angels. I'm not going to look at the camera. I'm going to look at the page as I read this. So, pardon my casting my eyes down here. Seven gravid angels sitting in a room, though they sit together, each lonely as a tomb. The paths that led them to this place are varied as the seasons. Though their goals are all the same, they have their different reasons. One so young she cannot know or begin to understand, her daddy used to play with her with more than just his hand. One is a young mother, husband away at war, ran into a former lover. She knows she's not a whore. Another, 3 months from graduation, a residency ahead. Her birth control had failed her. She wishes he was here instead. This one has 5 kids at home. She gets no child support. She cannot feed the ones she has. Her choice is to abort. This poor soul has tried for years, endured excruciating pain, only to find at 16 weeks her fetus has no brain. Date rape brought this co-ed here, a place she'd swore she'd never be. The roofies did their job, could have been you or me. The seventh one has known for years she can't be a fit mother, diabetic and bad heart disease, leave parenting to another. Seven gravid angels waiting for their turn to have their burden lifted, praying that in hell they will not burn. Seven gravid angels doing the best they can to bear the cross of womankind, a cross not known to man. Seven gravid angels, for that is what they are, doing what is best for them and for all people near and far. We have no right to judge them. We don't walk in their shoes. We have no right to criticize, much less right to abuse. I wrote some addendum that go along with this poem because I just wanted to keep writing, I guess, or something kept talking to me. So here's goes on. Seven different angels will sit here later on today, each with a different story, a different role to play. There are as many reasons as angels up in heaven. Each has her own sad tale. Today we hear just seven. Anytime a human sperm is blocked from entering an egg, a potential human life is lost. Your pardon I must beg. Absistence alone denies abundant human life. With each cycle, a potential child is lost. The truth cuts like a knife. A finite planet can support a maximum population. Beyond that firm number lies utter devastation. As humans, we can fulfill our needs and our desires and still have only wanted kids. This truth my mind inspires. To be forced to have unwanted kids is something like a curse. A wanted child's a burden, an unwanted one much worse. So that's I guess I wrote that yesterday or whenever. This one I wrote a while back, and it's along a again, iambic pentameter, kind of simple rhyming, can be set kind of neatly to simple music. 7 pregnant women sitting quietly alone, each wishing they were somewhere else, their faces made of stone. Each one has her own story of the path that led her here. This, the best of all bad options. Each sheds a bitter tear. They hear the haters outside curse them for their choice. Lost in thought, they sit there listening to their inner voice. Each has her own reason, each reason good enough. After long consideration, they knew this would be tough. They never thought they'd be here yet. This is where they are. They just want this day to end, to get back in their car, to drive out of the parking lot, leave the screaming crowd behind, hope they never pass this way again, wipe the whole thing from their mind. Someday, maybe have another child when things are better in their life, when they can bring the baby home to a house not filled with strife, at a time of their own choosing in a place they want to be, to the warm hearts and open arms of a loving family. But now is not the time, and this is not the place to bring a child into this world would be a great disgrace. So they sit and wait their turn to be called in by the nurse and know the privilege that they have is a blessing, not a curse. This day will pass, and all of this will be left far behind. This burden lifted from them. The clinic staff was kind. This is from my experiences as an abortion provider and the owner of an abortion clinic. Of course, here's something I'll just show you. Gosh, I have a lot of sitting here, but this I think is a great cartoon. Can you see it well? It's mice for cats, dinosaurs for asteroids, chickens for foxes, and women for Trump. Okay, then let's see. This is just another one, not about abortion, just about the human condition. Sad man sitting in a sad bar room, sad past all behind him, before him only gloom. His job is just a paycheck used to buy another night of drinking, just waiting there to die. His only friend, the bartender, pours up another round. The music in the background is nothing more than sound. He looks around the smoky room, the mirrors on the wall tell the same sad stories. He hears the words, last call. Drops his head and grabs his hat, walks out of the bar, lights another cigarette, goes out to his car, drives back to an empty house, crawls into an empty bed, dreams of better times, of things he'd wished he'd said. When morning comes, he rises up to face another day, pours black coffee into a cup, prepares to join the fray. The never-ending traffic jam, the snake of cars and trucks, the parade of other drivers, most think that their life sucks, daydreaming of some better time and what it is that they might do to escape from the treadmill. Dreams sometimes do come true. When work is done, he finds his way back to his favorite bar. His friend serves him up the usual. He wishes upon a star. Perhaps he'll meet someone to share his loneliness. Perhaps the shadows may be dispelled by another human's kiss. I trust my lonely friend, what did I write there? I toast my lonely friend, wish him well, you see. Once, not so very long ago, this lonely guy was me. Okay, so that's some of that poetry. Oh gosh. And I don't even remember writing this, but it's sort of poetic, so I'll read it. I guess I wrote it as a song. Gonna tell you a story about a gal named Sue. Got raped by her dad. Didn't know just what to do. Sue told her mom what had happened to her. Her mom called her a slut, a bitch, and a whore. Said she was lying and kicked her ass out of the door. Put her on the street. Highway 61 was the route. Knocked up and alone with nowhere to go. Sick and confused and starting to show. So wandered he. Oh, okay. Gosh, that's another poem. Doesn't matter. I'll go on with it one. So wandered he down twisted trails through tunnels lined with mildewed moss until at last he came to naught, and there he stopped, quite at a loss. He wondered as he wandered why he wandered twisted trails and the mossy tunnels with their toads and slimy snails. He lost his way and found it more than once or twice, it seemed. Once he thought he'd found it, but in point of fact, he dreamed. His dreams were never ending, as both yours and mine. We all spend our lives defending the illusions we define as reality accepted without question, just and true. But reality for me isn't what it is for you. Both you and me and he and both you and me and he see but dimly through the glass. But until our trail has ended, our illusions will not pass. With our passions and our fading lights, going out, our illusions leave us too. Of that there is little doubt. Of that there's little doubt. Oh, yeah, I didn't say there is, it's theirs. Okay. This is a potential cover for 7 Gravid Angels. An angel, 7 women, 7 Gravid Angels. Anyway, that's a book, and I'm not going to read the book. I think I would like to read, if I can find it, another essay that I think is valuable. It's called Sentience. And if it's in this book. Well, this is actually a concept I think that everyone should know about. It's actually, I think, the solution to the world's energy problems. And it's renewable, and it's called the flow of water. The flow of water is inevitable. It is all around us all the time. I can't stop reading this. Poetic, but this is an essay, not poetry. Evaporation plus gravity demands it. It is within us and without us. It is so omnipresent and such a fact of life, it is usually ignored. The flow of water, downhill. The flow of water, unless artificially controlled, is always downhill. It dissipates energy as it moves from one position to another, or from one state to another, solid to liquid to gas. The energy released is kinetic energy. This energy can be captured to do work. Such as work can be as simple as the flushing of a toilet. In such a task, gravitational energy moves water from a higher to a lower altitude. The net kinetic energy loss moves away the water with the water, a small amount of energy serving a very useful purpose, which of course is washing waste downhill. Stored behind a dam, water accumulates massive amounts of potential energy. Released in controlled amounts, this potential gravitational energy is now kinetic energy and can be used and is used to spin the shaft in a generator to create electrical energy, electricity. Released in an uncontrolled fashion, as with the sudden rupture of a dam, the kinetic energy can be massively destructive. having the ability to wash away entire cities and everything in its path. The flow of water can easily wash large trucks off a highway and carry them far downstream. Most of us have stood in the ocean and been knocked down by a small segment of a modest wave, only to stand and be knocked down by a small segment of the next wave. The kinetic energy possessed by the flow of water is unfathomably immense and, in human terms, eternal. In many of its varied forms, the gravitational energy released by the flow of water can be harnessed and converted to electrical energy, providing an unlimited and renewable source of electricity. Wherever rivers flow or waves and swells exist, electricity can be generated using straightforward, existing, off-the-shelf technologies. It can be done and is already being done on a relatively small scale. I have devised several mechanisms for capturing the flow of water and using it to generate enough electrical power that, when combined with wind and solar, can and hopefully will supply the electrical energy needs of all humanity sustainably in an infinitely renewable and non-polluting way into the far distant future. It can and must be done if humans are to survive on this planet. And I have developed the technology. I hope to take these to an institute in Colorado that deals with sustainable energy resources and give them my blueprints. A friend of mine, actually, I have the whole set out elsewhere, but here are some of the blueprints. Right here actually is showing how to capture the flow of water in a river to run the generators. Whenever you cross a bridge over a large river, consider the power of the water flowing beneath that bridge. It can be easily captured using this and similar technologies. This particular technology can capture the flow of water through estuaries. That's where a bay rushes, the water from a bay rushes out to the ocean through this channel as the tide goes down, and then when the tide comes back up, it rushes back in, and that energy can be easily captured and turned into electrical energy. So these are just some more ideas that I hope I can generate some interest in engineers that can hopefully find funding necessary to develop some prototypes. Rather simple, but very important. Okay, I'm going to stop right here, but then I'll be right back this afternoon when I find I have another essay I'd like to read into Doc Tom Talks this evening, which is, by the way, since I think it's 1796, this is the earliest that we've had the summer solstice. This is the 20th of June, 2024. And so today will be the longest day of the year. I worked all day. Didn't seem that long to me, but here we are. I'll be back shortly.